happening right now all across the United States. Folks are voting, making their opinion known. I wanted to share this look with you because this is a live look at when the first polls on the East Coast close. 3 hours, 27 minutes, and just about 15 seconds. And right now, we don't know the specifics of the demographics, but the big question is younger voters, Gen Z voters. Are they voting? How are they voting? And to speak more on this, I do want to bring in Debra Cleaver, who is the CEO of the nonprofit Vote America. Debra, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So I did want to ask you this because obviously today is Election Day. Your mission started way before Election Day. Your nonprofit actually went out to college and university campuses across the United States, specifically in certain key states, including some of the swing states like Arizona and Michigan, North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. You wanted to reach the youth voters. When you and your team went to these campuses, what did you hear from these younger voters?
Well, first, there is a persistent myth that young people don't vote, and that hasn't been true in ages. In 2018, 2020, and 2022, we saw turnout on campuses, which was on par with turnout nationwide. So what we consistently find when we talk to young people is they don't need to be convinced to vote. They need to be taught how to vote because for most of them, it's their very first time voting. So we're not seeing any apathy. We're not seeing disinterest. We're seeing young people who just want to know what to do, when to do it, and what to bring with them when they go vote.
So, Debra, when you're talking about this, is it more logistics, like where do I go, or is it how do I research the topics that affect me as a younger voter? What have you been hearing when they come to you with questions?
Oh, it's almost always the logistics. Young people are incredibly informed, especially compared to those of us who are older when we were their age. So they know the issues. They know what's going on. What they don't know are very tactical things like, can they bring a student ID with them when they vote? Can they register to vote on election days? So it's overwhelmingly tactical questions that young people have.
So when you're having these conversations, I'm curious, what are the issues that they feel are impacting them the most? So that's the first question. But the second question is this, because as we know, information is disseminated in such a different way than some of the older generations. So my second question to you is, how are younger voters getting that information? How are they doing their research? So yeah, the first question is, what are the issues? And two, how are they doing that research on those issues?
So for young people, the issues that they care about reflect what the population at large cares about. Overwhelmingly, it's climate change, the economy, and reproductive rights. They get their information online, but they consume almost no broadcast television. So that is something that is very different for young people. And they also get a lot of their information from the campus newspapers. So we may not think this, but that's where they get their information. Fellow students, college media, and a lot of TikTok.
So, you know, we take a look back in the generations, right? Like the 60s, very politically active. Do you find that the younger voters now are more politically engaged or less? I mean, you told me that they're going to vote, but when it comes to the actual issues and everyday advocacy and really standing for what they believe in, what have you been hearing on that?
They're the most engaged generation we've seen in decades. I think they're going to give the boomers a real run for their money in terms of overall political engagement.
Debra, is there anything, in your months, being part of this mission, is there anything really that surprised you?
The most surprising thing is the partisan breakdown in college students. The most recent poll shows that Kamala Harris has a 50-point lead with college students right now. That is a massive lead and potentially speaks to a problem that Republicans may face in the years ahead as they try to engage younger generations.
How much of a difference do you think that the younger vote will make in terms of the presidential election?
There is no doubt in my mind that college students and Gen Z voters have the ability to swing the election if they turn out in 2024 the way they did in 2020. They will absolutely be responsible for a margin of victory in the 7 most competitive states.
And before I let you go, I also wanted to ask you this. When it comes to those down ballot or those ballot initiatives, is that something that younger voters are also researching, or are they really just researching like the headline elections and the races?
That is a great question, and one that I am not certain that I can answer as well as I would like. But again, we just see no difference in young voters than we do with older voters. So they are not less likely to vote down ballot than people who are older. I think it really comes down to the individual voter, but I do expect that we will see higher level of engagement with young voters who are on college campuses than young voters who are not.
And as you mentioned, Deborah, it's going to be really interesting to see the breakdown of those exit polls and kind of how those demographics play out. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.